Allah. Allah cina.
Terence Liano from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, often ventures deep into the woods to record himself performing overtone singing for TikTok and YouTube. One day, he decided to go live while filming one of his sessions. As he began to sing, it seemed like his unusual vocals caught the attention of a deer passing through the forest.
Pretty sure he was looking for where the sound was coming from, but I stopped and started talking and now he's confused. Alright.
The deer stood still, appearing curious about the strange sounds echoing through the trees. But while viewers focused on the animal, many noticed something else hidden in the background. Did you catch it? Several tall, thin figures appeared to be standing among the trees behind the deer. They were difficult to make out, but they seemed almost human in shape. Terence's TikTok audience quickly began sharing theories. Some believed the figures were cryptids. Others suggested they could be Sasquatch-like creatures or even skinwalkers lurking in the forest. Whatever they were, viewers couldn't stop speculating. Could Terence's eerie singing have attracted something unexpected from the depths of the Canadian wilderness? Take a look for yourself and decide what you think. Now, I've already covered the supposedly true ghost story known as Dear David in a previous video. Lately, many viewers have been asking for an update on the case and wanting to know what has happened since then. If you haven't seen the original video, I strongly recommend watching it first so you can fully understand the story. You'll find a link in the description, and it's also pinned in the comments below. But if you'd rather skip all that, here's a quick recap of everything that happened before. The story began with New York City artist Adam Ellis, who started experiencing disturbing nightmares involving the ghost of a young boy with a severely misshapen head. The child became known as Dear David. At first, Adam assumed the nightmares were simply dreams. However, things soon became much stranger. Odd events started occurring around his apartment, and his cats began acting unusually, often appearing frightened by something unseen. When we last left off, Adam had traveled to Japan during the early part of October. The story picks up shortly after he returned home to what he believed was a haunted apartment. Almost immediately after returning from his trip, Adam noticed strange activity once again. It started with unusual electrical problems. Within just a few days, 2 light bulbs in his hallway suddenly burned out. Soon after, the backlight on his camera began flickering on and off, even when the device was powered down. Meanwhile, his cats returned to their strange behavior. Every night around midnight, they would gather near the front door and stare intently toward the hallway, as though something was standing outside waiting to come in. Despite checking repeatedly, Adam never found anything there. Then the nightmares returned. Night after night, he experienced vivid and unsettling dreams that left him exhausted and uneasy. Hoping to put an end to the activity, Adam invited a friend over to perform what was described as a spiritual cleansing of the apartment. The ritual was intended to remove any negative or unwanted presence from the space. For a short time, it seemed to work. The strange events stopped. The apartment felt normal again, and the disturbing dreams disappeared. Unfortunately, the peace didn't last very long. One evening, Adam walked into his kitchen to grab a beer from the refrigerator. As he entered the room, he noticed both of his cats sitting perfectly still and staring through a second-story window. Curious, Adam looked outside. Standing on the roof of the neighboring building was a lone figure staring directly back at him. Startled, Adam immediately pulled out his phone and snapped a photograph. But before he could steady himself and take another picture, the figure had vanished without a trace. Adam became convinced that he had just seen Dear David. Shortly afterward, he posted online, saying, "I'm sure it was him. He's not going away. I don't know what to do." The encounter left him shaken, and things were only about to get stranger. Not long after spotting the mysterious figure on the neighboring rooftop, Adam Ellis experienced another disturbing encounter with Dear David. One night, he had a terrifying dream. In the nightmare, Adam woke up and saw Dear David sitting silently in a chair near the foot of his bed. The child remained completely still, staring at him from the darkness. In the dream, Adam reached for his phone on the nightstand and began taking photographs. As the camera flashed, Dear David slowly rose from the chair. The ghostly boy began limping toward the bed. Step by step, he moved closer until he was standing directly beside Adam. David started mumbling something under his breath, but the words were impossible to understand. Then his eyes rolled backward, revealing only the whites. Adam watched in horror as the child climbed onto the bed and moved closer to him. Suddenly, Adam jolted awake. His heart was racing. The room was empty. Dear David was nowhere to be seen. Relieved, Adam told himself it had all been a nightmare. But as he tried to calm down, he noticed something that made his stomach drop. The photos he believed he had taken during the dream were actually saved on his phone. Despite the disturbing discovery, the following week passed without any major incidents. Then strange sounds began coming from the attic above his apartment. At first, Adam heard occasional thumps overhead. Soon the noises grew louder and more frequent. There were sudden crashes in the middle of the night and what sounded like footsteps moving across the ceiling directly above him. After several nights of listening to the unsettling sounds, Adam decided to investigate. The attic could only be accessed through a hatch located high in the hallway ceiling. Since he didn't have a ladder tall enough to reach it, he improvised by using a telescoping utility pole. His plan was simple. He assumed that an animal, perhaps a squirrel or raccoon, had somehow gotten into the crawlspace. Using the pole, he carefully pushed against the attic hatch while recording the entire process. As the hatch swung open, something immediately fell from above. The unexpected object crashed onto the floor below. When Adam examined it more closely, he discovered that it was a small, old-fashioned leather shoe. The strange find only made the situation more unsettling. At that point, Adam decided he no longer wanted to investigate the attic alone. Concerned that something might actually be living up there, he contacted his landlord and explained everything that had been happening. The landlord soon arrived with a ladder and performed a thorough inspection of the attic space. To Adam's surprise, the landlord found nothing. There were no animals. No signs of anyone entering the area. The only unusual item discovered was a single green marble lying in the crawlspace. Over the following weeks, Adam's sleep continued to deteriorate. He suffered from recurring nightmares and often woke up with the overwhelming feeling that someone, or something, had been standing in the room moments before he opened his eyes. The sensation became impossible to ignore. Determined to find answers, Adam decided to set up a camera in his bedroom. He programmed the device to automatically take one photograph every minute throughout the night while he slept. The next morning, he eagerly reviewed the images. Most of the photos showed exactly what he expected. Picture after picture revealed nothing more than Adam sleeping peacefully in bed. But then he reached a series of images that made his blood run cold. Standing near the foot of the bed was a small figure. It was dear David. The ghostly child appeared to be sitting in a chair, silently watching Adam as he slept. In the next photograph, David seemed to be looking upward toward the ceiling. Then, in another image, he appeared to collapse sideways in the chair. Several photos later, the chair sat empty. Dear David had vanished. But the nightmare wasn't over. As Adam continued scrolling through the photographs, things became even more disturbing. For several frames, nothing unusual appeared. The room looked completely normal, and Adam could still be seen sleeping peacefully in bed. Then, without warning, dear David appeared again. This time, the child was no longer sitting across the room. He was standing beside Adam's bed. In the next photograph, David appeared even closer. Then came an image that left Adam speechless. Dear David seemed to be sitting directly on the bed, staring down at him as he slept. The sequence became increasingly unsettling. In another photo, the ghostly child appeared to be looking straight into the camera lens itself, as if he knew he was being recorded. Then, just as suddenly as he had appeared, he vanished once more. The remaining photographs showed nothing unusual. At least, that's what Adam thought. When he reached the final image, he noticed something strange. The photo appeared to show the side of a head extremely close to the camera. A rough-looking ear and strands of thin, stringy hair were visible in the frame. The image was difficult to explain. After reviewing the photographs, Adam shared them online and admitted that he had no idea what to think. He later wrote, "I'm at a loss for words. That malformed ear, that stringy hair, I don't even know what to make of it." And that's where the story of Dear David stood at the time. So what do you think? Was Adam Ellis documenting genuine paranormal events, or was the entire thing an elaborate hoax carefully crafted for social media? The decision is yours. Our next eerie clip was submitted by a viewer named Zoe from Perth, Australia. Zoe works as a registered nurse on the night shift at a local nursing home. According to her, there is one particular room in the facility that has a reputation for making both nurses and staff members uncomfortable. Many employees claim they feel as though someone is watching them whenever they enter the room. Others report sudden cold spots that seem to appear without explanation. Some staff members have even claimed to witness chairs moving on their own. One evening, Zoe and several co-workers were gathered in the office during a quiet moment of their shift. While monitoring the security cameras, they noticed something unusual happening inside the room. The lights suddenly began flickering. The illumination repeatedly brightened and dimmed in a strange and irregular pattern. Then something even stranger appeared. A dark shape seemed to move across the camera's view. Moments later, another shadowy figure appeared to pass by as well. The staff watched the footage in disbelief. Could it have been nothing more than a malfunctioning light fixture creating strange visual effects? Or was something else moving through the room? And what exactly were those dark shapes captured on camera? But the next story may be even more unsettling. It happened only minutes before the end of a late-night shift. Two hospital cleaners were making their rounds when they suddenly heard something that stopped them in their tracks. The sound was unmistakable. Someone appeared to be crying inside a locked bathroom. Soft sobbing echoed from behind the closed door. The incident was reportedly captured on surveillance cameras inside a hospital in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and later shared online by the TikTok account Tana Kabar. The footage shows the two cleaners cautiously approaching the bathroom entrance. As they move closer, one of the women appears nervous but determined to investigate. Then something happens that sends her into absolute panic. She suddenly recoils in terror and stumbles backward. According to her account, she saw something horrifying inside the bathroom. Although the camera doesn't clearly show what she witnessed, she later claimed that the sight was directly connected to one of the hospital's most disturbing legends. Fortunately, the security camera captured the entire encounter. And what happened next only deepened the mystery. As one of the cleaners slowly pushed open the bathroom door, she cautiously reached toward the light switch. But she never got the chance to turn it on. The moment the door opened, she appeared to see something inside that terrified her beyond belief. According to her account, a man with a pale, disfigured face was hanging from the ceiling directly in front of her. The sight sent her into an immediate panic. She stumbled backward and nearly lost her footing as she desperately tried to get away. Meanwhile, her co-worker wasted no time escaping the scene, quickly retreating down the hallway without looking back. But the strangest part of the incident was still to come. Seconds after both cleaners backed away from the doorway, the light inside the bathroom suddenly switched on by itself. Then the bathroom door slowly swung open even wider. It almost appeared as though something inside was inviting them to step closer. The unsettling scene lasted only a few moments. Just as viewers expected to finally see what was inside the room, the video feed abruptly cut to black. According to the person who uploaded the footage, the remaining video was somehow lost. Even more bizarre, both the camera recording the incident and another security camera farther down the hallway reportedly stopped working and later had to be replaced. What makes the story even more chilling is the hospital's dark reputation. For decades, employees have whispered about an alleged tragedy that occurred there during the 1980s. According to local rumors, a man took his own life inside one of the hospital bathrooms. Paranormal investigators often describe two primary categories of hauntings. The first is known as a residual haunting. This theory suggests that a traumatic event can leave behind an energetic imprint, almost like a recording that endlessly replays itself over time. If that explanation is correct, the crying sounds and the appearance of the mysterious figure could simply be echoes of a tragic event from the past. The second possibility is far more unsettling. It's known as an intelligent haunting. Unlike a residual haunting, an intelligent entity is believed to possess awareness and the ability to interact with its surroundings. Supporters of this theory point to several details from the footage. The bathroom light turning on by itself. The door slowly opening. And perhaps most importantly, the apparent failure of multiple security cameras immediately afterward. Some paranormal researchers believe these events could indicate a sudden surge of electromagnetic energy associated with supernatural activity. Others suggest the entity may have intentionally interfered with the equipment to prevent anyone from seeing what happened next. Of course, skeptics offer a different explanation. They argue that the cleaner may have been influenced by frightening stories surrounding the hospital and misinterpreted what she saw in the darkness. As for the cameras, a routine electrical malfunction or power surge could explain their failure. Still, many people find it difficult to dismiss the timing of both cameras breaking down at nearly the same moment. So what do you think? Was the incident simply a combination of fear, coincidence, and technical issues? Or was something genuinely paranormal lurking inside that bathroom? Now let's move on to one final chilling case. A man accepted a job at a funeral home knowing it might expose him to unusual situations. But he never imagined that some of his most frightening experiences would happen while he was actually working there. Over time, he began hearing strange sounds coming from the room where coffins were stored. Whenever he investigated, he felt as though something was watching him from the shadows. One day, he claimed to witness something so disturbing that he couldn't stop talking about it. Unfortunately, none of his co-workers believed him. That changed when he finally managed to capture the activity on video.
Miren como tenemos rato escuchando ruidos aquí en esta zona. Si vemos, pues está solo y creemos que pues hay algo aquí porque pues se empiezan a mover así como que medio raro. Miren, 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 miren. Miren cómo se mueve, miren, 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 miren. Miren cómo se mueve. No hay nada. No hay nada, no hay nada, no hay nada. Está mi compañero, pero pues si vemos estamos solos.
At first, the footage seemed unsettling enough. But only a few weeks later, the situation became even more frightening.
Estamos aquí en la funeraria, otra vez, con ruidos raros. Entonces, pues, está solo. Ahora sí. ¿Cuál pinche que se ve? Que nada. Estoy solo. Estoy solo en la chingada. Estoy solo. A la chingada. No mames, no mames, no mames.
While working alone during a late shift, he once again heard unusual noises coming from the storage area. Determined to document whatever was causing them, he grabbed his camera and headed toward the room. This time, things escalated dramatically. Without warning, one of the tall funeral candlestick stands suddenly toppled over. The object appeared to be forcefully pushed, crashing to the floor with considerable force. The unexpected event immediately sent the worker running from the room. After gathering his courage, he returned and carefully recorded the area. He showed the floor, the walls, and every corner of the room. No one else appeared to be present. The only other employees in the building were embalmers working upstairs, well above the location where the candlestick had fallen. The most obvious explanation is that the spirit of a recently deceased individual was somehow responsible for the disturbance. However, some paranormal investigators propose a much darker possibility. According to their theory, certain locations may become home to powerful non-human entities. These entities are believed to hide behind stories involving human spirits, making it appear as though ordinary ghosts are responsible for the activity. Some researchers compare this concept to cases investigated by paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who occasionally claimed that a darker presence was manipulating events behind the scenes. Under this theory, the funeral home may not be haunted by multiple spirits at all. Instead, a single malevolent entity could be responsible for every incident.
Wait for tomorrow, and kindly don't forget to subscribe. If you want to share your own story or want to contact us, you can mail scarycamyt@gmail.com.